Sometimes you need to keep your intellect aside to understand things that can't be explained logically. Ling Bhairavi Devi Temple, an abode of divine feminine energy, a place where when people walk inside, they just have tears in their eyes without any reason. This is what happens with me also when I go to this temple. Let's listen from Sadhguru about what happened to this army officer turned businessman from Singapore when he entered the Devi temple.
This couple just came to the ashram with one of their friends. I didn't even know they were here. They had not done the program. They just came because some friend was coming, they came. They came from Singapore. They walked into the temple and in both their eyes tears came. They didn't know why. They're not very religious kind or anything. They're a very modern couple. So both of them came, they took the yantra home. Their lives changed. They're very successful people. But his whole business and that's his creativity. He created a new business. He's not like a second generation or something, he's first generation. He did not start very beginning, he was in the armed forces and somewhere along the way he kind of took a voluntary retirement and started a business and built it very big, international, really a few $100 million business he built. And this accelerated like anything. He's suddenly able to communicate with people, do things with people, and the business expanded in a big way. Why I'm saying this is, for him that's his creativity, business is his creativity. And suddenly there's a new capability which he had never thought possible. If you use her as a window, suddenly she opens up a new dimension for you, an enhanced level of competence.
If you dip a paintbrush in paint and start painting a big wall by walking from one end of the wall to the other end, you will see that the paint is dense at one end and becomes lighter and lighter and lighter and then very subtle by the time you reach the other end of the wall. Similarly, making divine out of rock is like making a dense form of energy into a subtler form of energy. But obvious, it's not as simple as painting a wall and requires an intense process of consecration. Let's see a glimpse of why Sadhguru designed the Ling Bhairavi temple the way it is.
It's an equilateral triangle, okay? There are many aspects of the geometry which I don't want to go in, but the significant aspect is, there's another triangle fitting into this in a smaller capacity. So a downward triangle is…
That's this one.
No, this downward triangle always symbolizes the feminine.
Okay.
The upward moving triangle symbolizes the masculine. But here, normally it would be depicted like this. Okay, this is also the Star of David and whatever else the star is used, and this is the basic yantra for Sri Chakra and everything. This is the masculine and feminine meeting. But here, the masculine is held inside the feminine triangle because here the masculine is unborn. It's in the womb of the feminine. So it's a smaller triangle held inside. It is not a larger triangle like a male meeting the female. This is like in the womb. The masculine is a child in the feminine's womb because here the feminine is in a dominant form. So there is a whole geometry of things in this where we are trying to build a body of the feminine to energize it in a certain way. So Devi will sit here, this is also a triangle and this is into the earth, here there are steps going in. Being in the earth is very important for the feminine. So the deity herself is going into the earth and people have to go in to meet her, that's how it is. And there are lots of symbolisms attached and geometry involved in this whole process. In the end, today you have walked in, it's like a construction site. After 2 months you walk into this space, forget about the ambience, walk with your eyes closed. You will see, it'll just hit you in your face, the whole energy of it.
Out of all my experiences with Devi, there are two very intense and beautiful experiences that I want to share with you. But as I said, you have to keep your intellect aside to understand them. In past few years, my father has turned into an atheist and he doesn't allow any kind of temple to be kept at home. Few months back, I went to my hometown with my kid who's wearing a Devi pendant. The day I reached my parents' house, the pendant fell on the ground in a particular room and I was astonished because according to me it wasn't possible as the knot was too tight. I put my intuitive mind to work to understand what signal Devi was trying to give me but couldn't figure out. Unconsciously, I chose the same room this time for doing my daily sadhana So I used to get up in the morning, freshen up, sweep the floor, and then used to do my sadhana. After a few days, I got a dream in which I saw a lady, a beautiful lady with big eyes and kumkum on her forehead, wearing a red sari and sweeping the floor where the pendant fell, and me observing her standing in one corner of the room. She just looked at me and smiled, and when I woke up, I found out that those eyes and the way kumkum was placed on her forehead is exactly same the way it is in the Devi's picture that I have at my home. This dream was like a signal to me, as if she was saying that I have already cleaned this place and now it's your responsibility to bring me in this house as well. I got goosebumps recalling this dream, and I was crying and crying and crying, and then I told my mom about this dream, and now Devi adorns my parents' house also. And the most surprising thing is my father did not say anything against it. Another experience was I went to Devi temple before my Shunya intensive program, and as soon as I entered the temple, I realized it's time for Linga Bhairavi Aarti. So I just sat down with my eyes closed, and as soon as the aarti started, I felt as if I am in some other dimension, and I saw a lady from backside wearing a red sari with two diyas in her hands, how Bengali women have when they dance during Durga Puja. And when that lady turned towards me, I was surprised to see that it was me. I saw myself dancing there with those two diyas during the whole duration of that aarti. And when the aarti got over, I came back to my senses and I realized that I had tears in my eyes. Success, well-being, good health, being fearless are some of the qualities that you bring when you open up yourself for Devi. If you want to bring Devi to your home, you can keep a Devi picture, Devi Goody or Devi Yantra. To know more, you can click on the links that I have provided in the description. Feminine doesn't just mean female. So whether you're a male or a female, you can bask in Devi's glory. I recommend everybody to visit Linga Bhairavi Devi's temple at least once in your life if you haven't. Let me know your experiences with Devi in the comment section. See you in next video. Namaskaram.